All right, what's up, guys? This is Master of One Podcast, episode 55, Caught in the In-Between. And I'm going to be completely honest. When I woke up today, I knew today was going to be a good day, but not to the level of what it was. Because let me just start this podcast by saying, guys, I literally almost died today. And it's like I almost died where it's not like a scary almost died, though I guess a little bit scary. It'll all make sense in 1 second when I tell you guys exactly what happened. So basically, and let me just say, by almost dying, none of this was my fault. It's completely out of my control. So I'm sitting at a light. Basically, I'm trying to take a left onto a major road, right? And I'm just sitting at a light, and two cars are going opposite ways, and they basically hit each other off. And one of the cars comes like basically screeching towards my car, and they're going fast. And it's like I see the car coming towards me, and there's nothing you can do. I kind of like brace myself a little bit, like you're trying to like take a jab or like a 1-2, and I could kind of tell that it wasn't game over. Like I could tell based off the distance and the speed that I thought I was gonna get hit for sure, but I was like, okay, this is not like I'm gonna explode and everything's over. So that much I could process. I will say nothing. There was no like light flashes before your eyes, like in that sense. But so basically, this car is screeching towards me, and it gets closer and closer. And it's basically one of those movie scenes where it gets all the way, and it's basically a shoe away. So it's not like our cars aren't touching, but I basically have like one, like maybe like 5 to 5 inches, or maybe like a foot, but something, but basically not that far. Like I could touch his car, and his car just stops right next to my car, and I'm like, oh my God. And there's some guys watching at the street, and they're looking over like, oh my God. And I was like, wow, today is a good day to gamble. Like, so that's just how I'm going to start the podcast. I almost died today. It was 4/31, 2025. Um, but yeah, I just saw the car coming towards me. Nothing you can do. You just kind of get out of the way, and well, that was the way the day started. Now, there's a lot more to talk about today, but I want to hit the main points. I'm gonna get back on track because there's a lot to go through in the last couple of weeks. It's been a definitely a whirlwind couple of weeks. But honestly, let's just start in order. And actually, I'm gonna start in reverse order, which is gonna be a little interesting, but I think it all makes sense towards the second half. So besides for me almost dying, the second most recent thing that happened was I played the state championship, and man, like I was very close to not playing. Actually, I told everyone I'm not gonna play, but then I kind of wanted to win first place as well. And it's funny. It started out like, all right, I'm gonna play like 2 games, maybe 3 games. I'll take 2 buys. I'll chill 4 out of 5, and if I get some money and I get some FIDE, all right, it's a good day at work. So it starts out with 3 games, then it gets to 4 games, and I'm like, all right, well, I want to be able to win clear first. And if I get 4.5, or if I take a buy, there's a very good chance I can't get clear first. So that means I play all 5 games. Then I wanted to play 3 day. And I was supposed to play 3 day, but then this girl was like, "Hey, you want to go to this party Friday?" And it's ironic because I never even ended up hanging out with her. So like, I ended up playing 2 day, and then I think I signed up maybe at like 11 p.m. on Friday. It's something funny. So I signed up at 11, and then Ben Moon signs up at like 30 minutes after me. I'm like, oh man, I thought I was gonna be the last person to sign up, but no, Ben got it in. I think he was officially the last person in the open section. Um, so first round, wake up at 10 or wake up at whatever time. Rounds at 10. Played against Brad Lathrop. He played super well, super well. I actually worked on this variation today, so there should be an improvement. And this is probably the biggest reason, and one of the major factors of why I'm not playing in Georgia anymore. Like Brad, I don't even know when they got the pairings, but somehow Brad knew he was gonna play me, and he ended up looking up. He knows like what I play. He knows the variation. He knows multiple variations of what I play, and somehow in the time he looked up all this stuff because he told me after the game he was like, "Oh, I was worried. What if you're gonna play this, and this?" And I was like, "Bro, how much time did you have to look up all these things? I guess all you need is like 10 minutes, but also it's just like when you have played in the same place long enough, like." they've seen enough of your games where they don't have to look it up. They can just recall their memory of what they've seen. So that's also another, I think, pretty big factor of why he was able to recall so many so many variations so fast. But like I said, that's annoying because everyone I play can do this. Literally everyone I played outside of one person, I've played at least maybe 10 times. Like what am I doing playing the same person 10 times again and again and again? And I'm always higher rated except for one of them. And like if I draw, I lose rating. If I win, I don't get that much rating, and if I lose a bunch of rating. So the upside is very not there. But okay, so I draw the first game. Honestly, I had winning chances. Honestly, he had winning chances. I played it super bad, super passive. Honestly, this is the theme of the tournament, and if you all watch the YouTube video of the breakdown of the tournament, you'll see. I mean, I'm gonna rate this tournament really, really bad, but you will kind of understand why. I think as I get to the second half, a little bit. I guess a little bit. I mean, it wasn't an easy tournament, and once again, kudos to my opponents. Like, this one thing that I have to really, really do is give credit to my opponents, at least most of them, where like I did a lot of things over the last couple weeks, and okay, I didn't get the best results or exactly what I was looking for, but and okay, like I couldn't fully maximize a lot of the training that I wanted to do because I was basically cross training and doing all these things. But after all that being said, I want to say like a shout out, or not maybe a shout out, but like kudos to a lot of my opponents and a lot of the ways they played in the last couple of weeks because they didn't make it easy. And I'm okay. I do compete at the high level, so I can't expect like the easiest things in the world. But I just wanted to get that out there where like a big reason why it wasn't easy. It wasn't just that maybe I didn't play the best. It was also that my opponents played really well. Okay, so anyway, to get that off my chest. So yeah, he played pretty well. But even that being said, I had winning just to the end. But I mean, this is why I never play game 60. Like I literally choose, and every time I play the 2 day short time control, and it's like the numbers are pretty bad. Like I have not won the first round a decent amount of time. Now I also don't lose very often. Like I drew this game and I've drawn a couple in the past, but there's straight data right there where it's like don't ever do this again. Like I've seen, I mean this one maybe a little bit forced, but a little bit definitely avoidable. Like I mean looking back, it's also like kind of funny. Like looking back, like if I just took a buy, then I would have just saved like maybe 6 to 8 rating points because I drew a 2000 or 1900. So even if last minute, like, okay, I can't play 3 day and I have to play 2 day, like even a buy is clearly better than what happened here. I thought I would, I mean, that being said, I thought I would get someone easier and even like less of a challenge. But that's another problem with playing in Georgia. Like everyone's kind of a challenge and they know what they're doing. So there's no like free wins or anything over here, and that's why like a buy is even fine. Okay, so that being said, let's move on to round two. Round two, I played this Indian kid Ian. I think he looked at my games because I looked at his games and he didn't play what he normally played. But all right, we got a Sveshnikov. We get a Sveshnikov. I could have played it better. Things to take away, but more experience is Sveshnikov. The legend of Sveshnikov just continues to grow. It's, I mean, maybe it's 13-0 or 14-0, 14 undefeated, something like that. Something just absolutely nuclear. Round three, I got to play my new favorite opening, or one of my new favorites, the Moscow, and just literally took the guy behind the woodshed. And he plays this line that like a lot of people play, but thanks to Nepomniachtchi or Nepo, like I have this idea that I think is really just very, very critical for White, and White just gets a free play. He just gets, I mean, I basically call it, and this is what I try to get, and this will be alluded to more later, but punching bag chess, where basically my opponent is literally just a punching bag. There's nothing he can do. He's just sitting and taking it. He's just watching. That is the best type of chess that you can get when you make your opponent a literal punching bag. So this one was very punching bag-esque, where it's like he never had a chance. Um, oh man, the timing of that was pretty funny. But yeah, so that was fourth round three, and then round four, I have to play Andrew Zhang. And okay, once again, the rule is you don't play in the morning, especially 10 a.m. But because of I'm trying to be a hero, I ended up playing this game. Now I start off this game just playing absolutely abysmal, like just some of the worst chess I've played. I mean, okay, not some of the, okay, actually, let's be a bit more fair here. I used an idea that I had gotten from my teacher, but it was a slightly different move order, so the idea doesn't work. And then I'm kind of just suffering a little, or I have a slightly worse position. He finds a nice tactic, and then I'm basically just suffering. I'm just down a clean pawn for nothing, and I'm down like 30 minutes or 40 minutes. Like of all the games for Andrew to beat me, this was his best game. And he's beaten me, I think, twice now. And those two games, like I shouldn't have lost. Or like I was out playing him and something happened. This one is his best game against me. I'll say that 100%. I'll give credit where credit is due. This is 100%. I mean, I'm not gonna say he should have won one. Like there was still work to do, but he had one critical move, and I kind of told him this after this game. Um, if he can just trade away my hope, if he can take away my hope, there's nothing I can do. And basically, he kind of opened up the position. Um, he opened up the position, and there's basically just a sad tactic for him, where like then now he's just kind of like dead lost. Or it's actually equal, but it's very difficult. And he was cruising before, so the mental switch is also kind of difficult. Where 1 second you're winning without he has any hope, to now okay, like I could lose. It is a kind of a big mental shift, I would say. Um, so yeah, that was just unfortunate for him. Round four, I always have some magic. This happens literally year after year. I was actually like thinking about it. I was like, oh my God, is this gonna happen again? And then round five, I play Ethan. Um, so yeah, I mean, kind of a problem with playing Ethan is I once again I train with Ethan. I've played him a bunch of times, so I was wondering what to play. And I mean, actually, as of recently, I was getting really good looks or really good positions with this one idea that I was playing. Um, so I should have. I don't know why I didn't really think about this, but I assumed he was going to play the same thing, and he has always kind of done the same thing when we play. So I guess I just assumed that that would be the case here, and he actually switched it up on me. And I think a big reason why Ethan won this game is because he kind of stuck to what he was wanting to do, whereas in general, like so, I mean, this is the first time he's beat me, um, and always before, like he'll offer a bunch of draws. He'll always be like, I hope I don't do this or whatever, like low confidence, low like low aura is the best way to put it. And this time, like I offered a draw, I guess early on, he declined it, which unfortunately, I mean, well, okay, we'll get there when we get there. He declined it, and then I mean, it's just an equal position or a normal position. But I'm playing slow, I'm playing inefficient, like just kind of the theme of the whole tournament. And then I just make like a kind of a sus move, a stupid move, if we're really being honest. Just like, why are you playing with fire? And then okay, now I have to bend over backwards, and I end up doing too much, and then I go all in on this attack, and he just defends and takes all the pieces. Classic Ethan chess. Um, so I mean, a couple takeaways from this is one, okay, first thing I did, like I actually went home and I studied this opening. Now I actually know exactly what to do. Um, so that's first takeaway. Don't play something that you don't really know. There was a variation in the opening where I could have gone for this, and I knew it was better for white, but I thought it was something he was comfortable with, so I didn't want to. So I think another very important thing and a very important approach to have is, especially when you're playing someone good, or when you're playing so there's like high stakes, there's a lot of variables. You can't be too dogmatic in your approach, where you can't just be like, okay, these are the rules, this is what I'm supposed to do, this is what I have to do. There has to be a level of, okay, I need to adapt, I need to flow. He's doing this, and I know he normally does this, and I think this is the best thing. Not just, okay, brute force, no matter what, I always do this, and this is what I'm going to do. Because that's normally like what I have been doing recently, and I think that was a big takeaway here, where I kind of just did what I normally did, and then I basically just ended up kind of dry, is the best way to put it. It's not the cleanest kind of game. So I mean, I guess the good news and the bad news, okay, yeah, state championship is over. The run, quote unquote, is over. Um, but I can't even be mad at that. Like I was not supposed to play. The whole plan was for me not to play the state championship. So I was ready to give it up anyway. So that I mean that's no problem. Now the real thing that I think is a problem is a draw would have just been so nice. Um, Maybe logistically is the way to put it, because okay, like I played very subpar this tournament, but going to the last round, I'm plus maybe 10 FIDE, and if I draw the last round, I'll probably gain 20 FIDE and 400 to $500, and I get to go home early. Like that's the real reason that I was really trying to draw this game, because like I've already guaranteed, I've done the hard work, and this is not one of the tournaments where I'm trying to flex. Like really, like if he wanted the trophy, if he even wanted the money, or if he wanted an extra $50, I would have given it to him. This tournament was just because I could play. It's here in Georgia. It's strong enough where I can gain some decent FIDE, and it's just like every FIDE point counts over the summer. So I want to gain as much FIDE as I can. And by being able to be here very quickly and easily, like I can just pick up some FIDE. So if I had drawn the last, or if I had won the last round, that's even a whole nother story. Everything doubles, goes 30 FIDE and $1,000. Um, but I had basically just come off a bunch of work, and I guess I'll say it here and probably nowhere else. But I also finished college. I mean, basically, I went back to school and I finished college on that weekend. I had a final on Friday, a final on Monday, final presentation on Monday, and that weekend was the same weekend as the state championship. So, um, I was doing a bunch of work that weekend, which is why I was very much in just pure survival mode. And just, all right, I guess I'll play, I guess I'll do this. Let me just make it through. And then the summer is when the real fun stuff begins. So I went over the state championship, I went over most of the games. Now I'm going to go into, I think, the next big event that was about 2 weeks before this. I mean, 2 weeks before this. It was every back to back to weekends. But I did do chess boxing in New York City. So that will be the next part of the podcast. Okay, so the second big event that I would say the last couple of days was I was chess boxing in New York City. So the way that it works, pretty sure, is it's a I think it's a 9 minute game. Yeah, it's a 9 minute game, and you do 3 minute rounds of chess, boxing, and chess. So that's the format. Rules are okay. If you win in chess, the game's over. If you knock out in boxing, the game is over. And if you lose on time, the game is over. A legal move, I'm not sure. There's probably some penalty or something. Maybe it's over, but I'm pretty sure. Um, so my opponent was William Grafe, this guy who's 2300, who lives in New York. And so overall, I think the event was pretty good. I mean, actually, I think the matchup was really close. He did definitely better than I thought. Um, the things that were hard, okay, so the things that were hard were definitely getting the distance down. Because he did a pretty good job. He was moving, he knew what he was doing. But the biggest thing is things go by really fast. It goes by way faster, and I guess that's kind of how like chess is. Um, and like when you first play your first game of chess, there's so many things going on. It's hard to, and it's so hard to really see what's going on. And more than that, like jujitsu is really like this for me, where like when I'm going against someone better, or I'm just if I'm not just completely destroying the guy, like I don't have time to figure out, okay, there's this, there's this, there's this. I remember me and my friend, we came up with like a game plan of like, all right, watch the feet, you're gonna do this, and you're gonna make sure like this happens, and like kind of my memory of, I mean, again, I didn't get knocked out or anything, but like basically, if you try to remember what happened, you'll get these different, like you'll get a couple of flashes where you're like, okay, I remember this event. Like I remember one time I really tried to, actually, if I go round by round, so I think round one, I think. I mean, round one, I think was pretty close. The guy running it said that he would give it to me, but yeah, I'd say round one was close. Round two, I think he did a bit better. He was landing better shots. And then round three, I was kind of just pissed. And like, I think I was walking. I was definitely getting hit too, but like, I was walking him down. I would, if there was one round to give myself, it would be round three, because I think he kind of got tired, and like, I was just ready to go. Ready to go, as in like the chess. I mean, the hardest part of the chess boxing was the chess, which I thought was like I was not expecting at all. Because my chess, I mean, in general, my chess is good, but okay, with a lot of things going on. So okay, so this also, when was this event? This event was 420, so it was 2 weeks ago, if I do the math right. Yeah, so last weekend was the state championship and finals and all that kind of good stuff. The weekend before this was chess boxing in New York City. Um, so I definitely already knew there was a bunch of things going on the other side, where I have like the state championship, I have finals, I have all this stuff I have to do. Um, but I think what would make it a lot better, or actually, so this is why the chess was not as good. And once again, like I said, give credit to my opponent. His, at least his style is really really good for chess boxing. It's all gambits. He plays hella gambits. He's all about, I like to play gambits. I like to stack pieces. I like to make it all crazy and wild. Um, and in blitz, that's gonna be a lot to handle. It's like, or is it gonna be just like it's gonna be tougher to handle that while boxing? And generally, I am an attacking style, but during all these gambits and stuff, I really have to switch gears, and I can only counterattack after the first half. And basically, the first game, after getting a good position out of the opening initially, the gambit position is just very annoying, and he has this like rucksack that makes it very difficult. Makes it very, very difficult, maybe the best way to put it, for Black to continue the game. Um, so and then there's something that happens is like after you lose one game, especially and we were just doing a lot of practice. So after you lose one game, now you're like you're just annoyed, and it really sets the tone. Especially I think as like things in the beginning or people who are beginners, um, the way that the game begins will really, really set the tone the second half. Because if you're down and you're really there's already a lot to process, it's gonna be harder to come back or to like keep up with everything that's going on. But if you're up and you're in control, like now you can make it look like everything's easy. You can like basically it almost goes slow motion comparatively. But like yeah, if you're down and you're down on time and you're down on chess, you're down in boxing, like things will go by real fast. And I think that was kind of a big thing here. Um, that's I think the biggest thing. Now things to work on, like okay, I need to spar like a bajillion times more. That's another big thing with things going by like really fast. Um, when you spar again and again and again, every time you do it, I think time slows down just a little. Like I even found that with open mics. Like the more open mics you do, the more you can kind of at least start to see what's going on, or like you're already ready for the next phase of what's going on. So I think sparring a lot more, and honestly, like this is almost in a bad way too. Like all the boxing classes, like the cardio kickboxing classes, they're cool and all, but at some point they're kind of a total waste. Not like a total waste, but if you're actually going to fight, like that's not what you should be doing to get better at fighting. Like you don't do the cardio kickboxing class and just hit the bag. Like you need to actually spar and go fight. Like I think that's very, very important. And like I've been hitting the bag and everything for a long time. Like it's not the first um but comparatively to actual fighting and sparring, I have not done that as much for as much time that I've boxed. So that I think is really, really important. Not just like chess and boxing, but actually sparring and then starting off good too. I think that would be very, very important. So overall, experience was good. I'm definitely. Oh, here's another thing. So I was definitely having to get in shape and everything, getting to the fight. The week of the fight, or the week of the I'm supposed to go there. We're doing. It ended up being just basically a training session, not like a fight. But um, Monday, I ended up. All right, I was like, all right, I'm gonna ramp up. I'm gonna run like I think I ran 45 minutes or maybe like 45 minutes, and I sprint. I did a bunch of sprinting, and I was definitely really tired on Tuesday. Like I couldn't do as much on Tuesday. So I was like, all right, I'll take Tuesday off, whatever. I was on good trajectory, good shape. And then I talked to my friend, and he was like, "Oh, dude, you're working out and doing all this. You need to eat more." It's like I was like, "What do you mean you need to eat more? Like I need to get lose weight and like make weight and everything, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, to do that, you got to eat more, man." And like I think what he meant was like, okay, if you're going really, really hard, and it was like there was like 1 or 2 days where I had to take off because I had to teach schools or whatever. Um, so I didn't work out really hard, and I was like, all right, dude, I'll take your advice, and I just ended up eating a bunch and a bunch, and I just basically tried to force myself to eat as much as possible, and I did basically did Wednesday and Thursday, and I basically put myself to sleep. Like I was passing out early in the night because I was eating so much, and I was losing like I think I lost like a lot of the advantage that I had, or a lot of the weight and training that I had done. I think I erased the last week by trying to eat too much. So I definitely get okay, eating is important, but I think Dude, when your friend tells you like, yo, you know what to eat, you need to eat more to lose weight, like you kind of know, all right, like this is not gonna work. This is ridiculous. But while you're eating, that thought keeps popping in your head where you hear him saying like, "No, dude, you need to eat more. That's how you're gonna lose weight." And you're like, "I know I'm not losing weight by eating all this food, but maybe he's right." Like that's the sad part of what happens in your head. So, um. Definitely good to know for my first like fight camp or whatever, like these are things that you're gonna have to think about. Like one, don't go too hard the week of, and then just be tired. And overall, my cardio was very good for the event. Like I had got there like 2 hours early and then warmed up. I stayed later and was warming up, and like I wasn't tired during the fight, and I was even did stuff after. And so there was like no cardio was great. It was more just kind of like energy and being able to train and stuff. Um, so yeah, so overall, I mean, event was good. Definitely learned some things. But I would definitely work on just sparring more, offense more, and I would if I can, just actual situations. Like instead of just like sparring, let's say you start in this position, what do you do? Or like let's say they try to do this, what do you do? Like I think those would make a lot of sense. Like if you're trying to cut this guy off, if you're trying to chase this guy, if you're under attack and he's teeing off on you, what do you do? Like these are all good examples of like situations that you need to practice. So that's something that I'm definitely gonna do more of. I definitely took a week off, at least a week off. We're kind of in that second week, maybe off phase, though we've already started moving in the right direction. I'll say that. Um, but yeah, I think the week after I had cookout, I had Indian food. Definitely had McDonald's. I had some other good stuff too. Like I had some meals where I was like, all right, now I mean, it's not like there's like junk food spoil yourself, and there's like a good food spoil yourself. Like I had some good food spoil yourself kind of days too. Is what I'm trying to say. So so yeah, that was chess boxing in New York City. So great experience. Definitely work and improvement to be made, but it's good to do it because at least now you know, or at least now. And another reason why it's good to know and to do it is now if I'm going to do it again or when I do it again, I'm going to know what to expect and I know exactly what I need to do. Or it's like don't mess around because this will happen. Or like I mean don't eat a bunch the week of it. Like anytime you have to cram a bunch of stuff, it's not a good thing. So yeah, those are the big takeaways. That's chess boxing, and I will move on to the next subject. All right, so now I'm going to talk about the chess tournament schedule. And it is actually kind of confusing because it's mixed with my tournaments as well as the tournaments that I'm going to run slash play, which also are my tournaments in a sense of what is going on. So I'm just going to go through the calendar um, week by week. So the 17th of May. So that's going to be the first major scholastic tournament that I'm running. So I'm running this major scholastic at Wesleyan on the 17th of May. The 24th is, oh my God, I can't believe this is actually happening that fast. The 24th is Chicago Open. So 22nd to 26th is the Chicago Open, a major tournament in America. A lot of people play, very popular. Um, so that's my next tournament that I'm playing. Now the next tournament after that is 5/31. That is WCC4. So WCC4 will be the next one-day tournament that we're running in Alpharetta. Now I was really, really trying to get this one to be at the new location. But girls have something else to say. And it wasn't even something that I had to do with. So it's going to be a little bit longer, but hopefully it'll be worth it. Um, so that's going to be 5/24. Oh, sorry, 5/31. That's WCC4. Now after WCC4 is June 4th to June 8th. That is going to be that's going to be Vegas. That's going to be another 9-round tournament. Now June 9th 2025 is actually my birthday. I will be turning 31. Now, if I can, in a perfect world, I want to make International Master by June 9th, 2025. So I have Chicago Open, and I have this Vegas tournament to make 100 FIDE. That's how much I need to gain to be able to get to International Master. So that's my first goal. Now, after June 9th, so actually starting June 9th, that day, I'm teaching a chess camp at the Wesleyan School. So I have two camps that week, 9 to 13 or 9 to 15, and then 16 to 22 or 16 to 20. So there are two camps there. Then I am running, or me and my friend, this other organizer, are running a major tournament in Atlanta. So this is going to be 7 rounds. At least the tentative plan is 7 rounds. I think we're trying to do 10K in prizes or like 8K like FIDE rated. Like this would be the biggest tournament in Georgia ever. I think actually. Maybe not prize wise because of the whole. I think Georgia State Championship is 5,000 or 10,000 in prizes, but in terms of 7 rounds and in terms of rating and actually first place prize, because first place should be $2,000, which would be the most that I think there's ever been in Atlanta. So that's the goal right there. That would be June 21st weekend. Then I immediately go to Philadelphia, June 28th, June 24th to 28th or something, for the Philadelphia International. Right after that is the World Open. Then, right after that, I can go to New York, and there's a big tournament in New York City, like the 9th to 13th. So essentially, the way it's looking for me is I have 2 weekends left. My God. I got this weekend, next weekend. Then I got tournament, 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 tournament. About 9 weeks straight of tournaments. So that's my schedule in terms of running and in terms of playing. So as you can see, like one, I've been kind of okay. Actually, it's funny. I was gonna say this for later, but this week since I've been finished everything, finished the tournament, finished school, finished graduating. Um, I cleaned everything this week. I cleaned my house, cleaned my car, cleaned the dishes. I cooked. Like this has been a very nice, happy week. This has been the happy week of my life. But basically, this weekend, tomorrow, I got to get back to work because basically we got 3 weeks, 3 weeks before we start playing, and it gets pretty crazy after that. So yeah, so we're going. I'm going. I got a lot to do, and that's gonna segue perfectly. So you guys got the Wolf Chess tournament schedule. Um, I guess to wrap it up before I get into my chess training, after the big tournament, June 21st, um, the idea would be to take a break until probably August or September. So I'll play a bunch in July. Hopefully I can do it exactly what I'm trying to do. And then after that, like maybe August take off, probably travel, or maybe play more tournaments depending on where I'm at in the big picture. Um, But yeah, so after August, probably come back September, give it some time, and I guess we'll see what happens there. I'll see if I'm in Georgia, if I'm in Arizona, Texas, Colombia. We'll see. We'll see. Everything's possible after that. But yeah, right now, and okay, this is another reason why I'm kind of happy I lost to Ethan in the beginning of the summer, or why I lost to the state championship. I'm glad this happened at the beginning of the summer. This is the kind of stuff you need so that you have a good second half. So that I know to work extra hard. I know exactly what motivates me. I have all these I have this clarity. And this is gonna really wrap off in the life section. But caught in the in between, that's really what it's felt like in the last couple of weeks. So we got the schedule, we got the past. Now I'm gonna go over the training, my students' training. I'm gonna wrap it all up, and we're gonna have a nice, beautiful finish to this. All right, so now I'm gonna talk about my chess training. So I actually officially finished all my openings. Um, right now it's 5/3, 2025. At least my set for the summer run. Okay, I finished all my openings except for one. I do want to add the Caricon. The Caricon is the only um, opening that I've really never played, never messed with, and I think from what I've seen is just a more dynamic French is what my intuition says. So I will be trying to add that, but outside of that, I have everything I need. Um, and this is gonna tie in really, really nice in the life section. But yeah, so over this past week, since I have a lot more free time now, um, Catalan has been refuted. There's a really, really nice line. And I got this line from a friend actually. So my friend played some blitz games against this guy Mark Hyman. And Mark Hyman actually played this. And okay, so when I say I refuted an opening or I solved an opening, like first thing, that means a lot of times, that's especially with black, that these lines are just draws or something. Like it's just a draw here. Like there's nothing more, or it's equal, and either black has easy suffering or is not suffering. So that would be the first thing I say. So when we solve the Catalan, like either we're gonna get good positions we know, or positions that we really like. Um, And is there any draw lines? I actually don't think there's any draw lines, but I mean there are lines where whites just point to, but we feel comfortable with this position. So I know I said like, okay, we solved the Catalan. It's not solved, but we're happy with everything that we get, and there's a lot of upside. Is the other way to think about it. Like pretty much very excited no matter what happens in the Catalan. And then on Thursday, I we ended up actually solving the Night Orph and the Dragon. So another Night Orph Dragon Classical Sicilian like a huge branch of like mainline Sicilian was solved, which which is pretty big, I would say. Like these are like the most one of the most popular openings, and to be able to say that hey we solved them is pretty insane. Um, so okay, so what I'm doing after the openings are done. So also QGD is looking really good. So now I have to really review and sink it in. And I think this is a very important thing that people do not do. People create their chess space files. They're like, all right, I'm good to go. I know exactly what I have to do. Life is good. And then they just go play. So I mean, I think a reason I do this too is because I don't have like a super memory. Like, okay, my memory is not bad. Like if I have to memorize things, like actually with acronyms, I have like really exceptional memory, and with emotional memory, I think my memory is exceptional too. But in terms of just memorizing facts or like move orders or stuff like this, I'm not exceptional at this at all. Far from. So I have to really review and understand why things are happening. And I mean, honestly, to really understand, I have to play a game. Like that's the cheat code. If I play a game in this, then I'm gonna know what to do. Because I've sat there, I've calculated it, I've actually done it, and like once the repetitions are in, the movement and the thinking, it's pretty set. So first thing I'm going to do, and that's what I'm doing this weekend, is I'm going to create review sheets for all my openings. So another bonus of this is I also teach students. So by creating review sheets, not for my by creating review sheets for myself, I also have review sheets for all my students. So now when they want to learn, and now one thing I have to do when I'm creating review sheets for my students is, and it's kind of a good thing too, is I have to quote unquote dumb it down. And by dumb it down, all I mean is it has to start simple so that like people, I mean, it's not even like people who are lower rated. It's for people who haven't played this opening before. Like when you're playing a new opening for the first time, there's so much you don't know. So anyone looking at an opening for the first time, you need to break it down in the most simplest form. And that's like trying to make it almost systematic and not focus on the nuance and move orders. So it's just the general big ideas is what I would say you want to do initially. Then you have to add on the move orders. The move orders are going to be like the very specific, like you're going to do this or this, and it's really the only reason why is because you have to. There's some positions in chess where it's like, why do we do this? And all I have to say is, I don't know. Like I can try to rationalize it, but end of the day, like I don't really know. I just you have to memorize it. So there are those positions, but those are very few and far in between, I would say. For the most part, everything makes sense and is pretty logical. Um, so that's going to be the review sheet method. So first make the review sheets. That way I know what to do. The second thing that I have to do is, and this is what I'm really thinking about, do I make the YouTube videos? I don't know. So YouTube videos I have to think about. But the real big thing is playing these games, downloading these games, analyzing these games, and saving the plans, saving the critical moments, and especially out of the opening. Of course, I can save the moments in the back half, on the middle game and end game, and those things too. But anyone who plays chess knows kind of like the flow is like, okay, you're playing your moves, and then all of a sudden you get to a move you haven't seen before, or you forget. And basically, you need to know what to do next time. So every time you get this new position, this I don't know what to do here position, take a picture, figure out the best move, and then rinse and repeat. So that's what I'm gonna do with my students. I'm gonna have all these positions for them to look through, as well as well as I'm just gonna analyze all these games too, which I think is gonna be great on top. So yeah, so the plan is gonna be make the review sheets, and then I pretty much have 3 to 4. No, actually, I think I have 7 weeks, 6 to 7 weeks. Oh no, sorry. I have 4 weeks. 4 weeks. Yeah, so 7 weeks is boxing. 4 weeks I guess 3 weeks before the first tournament. Chicago Open is on the 22nd. That is in 19 days. So, okay, quick calculations, that is less than 3 weeks. But the good news is the openings are set. So that's basically 3 weeks of just playing, grinding, and then just getting good at this repertoire. So this is what I'm really, really excited for, is I don't have to wonder what to do. I always know what to do. And wow, this guy's hilarious. Um, and I'm just gonna practice and get good with this, and just add and build and add and build and add and build. So another thing that I'm gonna do, and I mean I could talk about this later, but I'll just do it now, is with my just students, I'll make these problem sets, right? These review sheets for all the guys, so that way they know what they're doing. Um, and then I'm gonna make problem sets on top of that to test them to know if they know what they're doing. And right now, problem sets are like, let's say for example, the Scandinavian. Maybe there's two problem sets of 4 questions each. As I play these repertoires more and more and more, all these problem sets will increase and have more questions about, okay, what should you do here? What is the right thing to do here? Oh my God, these guys are playing really high level chess. Um, but so right now, let's say that there's two problem sets of Scandinavian, two problem sets of Najdorf, two problem sets of Dragon. By the end of 3 weeks, there should be 5 to 7 problem sets of everything because I should keep adding things every time I play on like this is a new position, what do I do? This is a new position, what do I do? So it's going to be a very huge accumulation of knowing these openings really in depth. And if you want to think about like a relationship, this is like basically getting married to these openings. Like the honeymoon phase, actually, I guess I'd be in this honeymoon phase. And something that happens with openings a lot is after the honeymoon phase, it becomes too hard, and then you're like, all right, I can't do this anymore. I can't live this life anymore. And this is like, literally why I compared openings to relationships. There are so many analogies. But if you find openings you really like for example, Sicilian, I really like. Maybe some days I'm not like super, super into playing Sicilian, but for the most part, compared to E5 or E6, Sicilian is like complete love of my life, like way, way better. Because with E6 and um, at E5, there will always be positions that I'm going to hate to have to play. Like exchange French, no matter what, is going to always be a something I have to factor in if I'm going to play French. Sicilian doesn't have any exchange French. E5, there's all the very precise gambits that you have to know, and that is always going to be really, really annoying, and why I'm gonna always gonna be like, "Ugh, I don't know if I want to play E5 today." So, um, so yeah, so this set of openings, um, it is still a little bit early on, but the whole idea is I love these openings. These are the positions like, and this is actually something that's very important when you are picking your openings, when you're picking the positions that you want to play, and when you're analyzing. Don't just follow the engine. Like you can be +1 in a position you absolutely hate, or a position that you know you're going to lose or not win every single time. That's a +1. There's also positions where you could be slightly worse, but you're like, I love this position. I believe in this position. I feel like I know exactly where all the pieces go. And as long as it's not dead loss, like -1 is kind of the line. If you're -1, if your opponent is +1, a whole pawn up, generally you probably can't play it. But anything below zero point 0.5 or below zero point 0.6 is it's pretty much player's choice is the way to think about it. Like if I'm my opponent is up has a point 0.2 advantage, but I know where all the pieces go, he has to make only moves. I love to play this position. It'll be very easy to play because it's very natural and it flows very well for me. So those are things that you want to consider. And basically with the set that I have now, the openings that I'm playing now, um, they all feel very natural. They're my type of chess. Whereas like I could like let's say for King's Indian for example, King's Indian was never really my type of chess. And like I had some good prep in the King's Indian, we could get some good positions, but I also like there were positions where I'm like, man, I don't want to play this or like this is too much or this is tough or like I every time I play this I end up losing. Even though I know exactly what to do, I know exactly where to put my pieces. Every time I do this, I don't know why, but I lose. Like there are positions like that in the King's Indian. This new set does not have that. So that's one of the real big factors of why I'm very, very happy about just life and chess in general right now. It's like now it's time for war, and I'm ready to put my skills to the test. Um, okay, so now one thing I do want to add, because this is something that you have to factor in, you can't overuse your openings. Like with the modern age, and this actually makes it more annoying, just with preparation and games being broadcasted, I don't want to just show off these openings if it's not if I don't need to. Like if I'm playing at 2000, I don't want to show my preparation that can beat 2500s. Once again, I don't think the 2000 will get that far, but why would I tip off my opponents when I don't have to? So I think that what's going to be really important in this regard is against okay, actually one more factor about this that you have to consider. Like when I say openings are solved again, when I say openings are good, um there are a lot of draw lines that we have to factor in. And a draw line against Magnus Carlsen, great result. I'm happy with the draw there. Or like an equal position against Magnus, or let's say even an equal position against a super attacking player is a moral victory. Because I know at least against this guy, this is the best path to victory. But let's say, for example, I get a super equal position against a very boring endgame player. That is not a moral victory. And even though, like, opening wise, I did exactly what I want, stylistically and matchup, I don't know, I'm making up words right now, but basically, matchup dependent, that actually is not the correct thing to do. So, against different players, there needs to be different styles and different options. So, this is something that I kind of learned through the chess boxing and the state championship approach. Um, don't be too dogmatic in the way you think. And that's why against low rated players, my initial idea is going to be English against lower rateds, and then I just don't want to play French. Either Caro or French or E5, I don't know. No, I think either French or Caro against low rateds, maybe C5 too. E5 against grandmasters can be money. Like Roy Lopez against a grandmaster is normally a very fun position because you're cool with the space equality. If he tries to do too much, you can win, and there's a lot of like drawish equal positions as well. Like I actually have a very good record against grandmasters with E5. So they're like basically there are different cases where different options are better or worse, and that's a huge thing that I have to now factor in because now I have my set, I have what I want, I have what I like. Initially, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna play what I like. I want to get the positions I want. I always like this. Like, why would I change anything? But with broadcasting games, with stylistic matchups, with conserving prep for later, or is it worth it to use it now? These are things that I have to factor in, and I cannot be dogmatic, is the big takeaway that I wanted to add on the chess training uh, aspect of it. Now, um, adding to chess training, right? This is actually ended up being a very big section. But the puzzle book, I have this book of tactics, 2,000 puzzles. It's basically, it has all the pawn sacrifices with the pawn, all the pawn sacrifices with the bishop and knight. So 2,000 puzzles of different ways to sacrifice all your pieces. Um, I think I'm maybe 150 to 200 in. I want to finish this book by Chicago. 2,000 puzzles by in 3 weeks. So that is where I'm going to be doing my puzzles. I actually honestly will probably just do my lead chess on top too, but I want to get my striking right. Um, and I think a big way to do this is one, okay, play the right openings, of course, but on top of that, it would be to wow, terrible finisher this guy. It would be to just really get the striking and puzzles down. And almost like in a best way to think about it is in like a structured way. Like I want to be a structured striker and have finished all these puzzles, not just like, oh, we'll see what happens, or like, oh yeah, I like to attack. That's my style. No, there needs to be concrete of why do you like to attack? What have you done to make your attacking better? All that kind of stuff. Not just will, but data as well. Um, Now YouTube versus streaming. So this is also another very interesting question that is very, or it's something that I've been thinking about. Like, if I'm going to be playing these tournaments, should I be streaming and playing the openings that I'm going to play? Like, that seems like a very silly thing to do. Um, and then you also got to factor in how much value does streaming add. So the way that I've kind of looked at it and kind of the thing that I thought about, that at least makes the most sense to me, is I'm going to stream Title Tuesday. And Title Tuesday is very important because I need to flood the databases with stuff that I don't play. Because one great thing about Title Tuesday is every Title Tuesday game will go into the database. So I can add a lot of information of things that I could play or things that I don't play into when my opponents were looking me up and trying to prepare for me. So that's one huge thing. The other huge thing is I get to play title players. And with Title Tuesday on Tuesday, there's two. So instead of streaming Monday, Wednesday from 10 to 1, and and kind of just playing whoever, now I'm gonna be playing Title Tuesday. I'm gonna be playing all titled players, getting pretty like meaningful or cool games. Like I played Kramnik, Dubov. I haven't played Magnus yet, but I played a lot of like I played Nordebek. I beat Durabeli, um, in Blitz. Like there's a you like I'll have a lot of cool games to go over. And now everyone knows I'm not cheating because I'm streaming. So there's just a lot of wins with streaming Titles Tuesday. Now I was trying to find one more thing that I could stream with, and if I can't find it, I'm just not gonna do it. But I'm looking for one more idea of why to stream. Title Tuesday makes a lot of sense. I can stream it twice in a day on Tuesday, basically 6 hours of streaming, and people will be there's also going to be a lot of buzz. There might be a lot of competition because a lot of people do stream while on Title Tuesday, so that's one thing that I have to factor in. But I'm sure people jump around from stream a lot during Title Tuesday as well because there's so much going on. So um, streaming is going to be a little bit more on the back burner, especially with tournaments coming up. But one thing that I think I will ramp up a lot is YouTube. I want to do a lot more YouTube because YouTube is on its own schedule. It's whenever you want, and you can do a lot of different things. Like I can kind of choose what I want to do with YouTube, as opposed to streaming. It's very like you're just on the fly. You're ad libbing. It's like YouTube is like open mics or stand-up comedy, where like you write what you want to do, you put it together, and then you go say it. Where yeah, okay, got it. Where streaming is like improv, where you're just like, all right, go do your thing. Like, oh, let's see what can be funny. And I'm definitely more of a stand-up guy than an improv guy. I would say that for sure. But okay, anyway, so ooh, bishop g4, knight f3, king g2, and he survives. All right, so that is YouTube streaming and then chess training. So we got the puzzles and then really just a lot of playing. And before when I was streaming, it was cool because I would play 3 hours, but I was also giving up prep and I was distracted. So 3 plus 2, married to. 100% only doing 3 plus 2. Um, and then, okay, analyzing games. So I definitely need to have a lot of like 3 hour just playing blitz sessions. But this is another thing that I'm doing that I think is actually a huge game changer that everyone should do is with my teacher, we are so one, we've gone all through all the openings, but then we're gonna literally sit there and play games in all the variations. Like if I kind of know what I'm gonna get, like for example, on Sunday I played Ethan in the state championship, and I knew this position, but I've never played it before. I've never played it over the board before. Like I need to not. I need to go from just having chess-based files to actually having games and analysis in each of these positions. So like what that means is like one, play the like choose the position we're gonna play, make all the moves. So now it feels comfortable. Like a lot of times, like UK, you're gonna go play in a tournament, and like you've looked at it on chess-based, and you're like, okay, this makes sense, this is cool, and then you go sit in the board, and then you're all of a sudden like, oh my God, what if he does this? Like actually playing the opening is a huge difference, memorization wise and quality wise, than just being like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. So by actually making them sit there and play it out, I think that's gonna help a lot. Or like making me sit there and play it out, like I'll be way more comfortable. I know the plans, and it's like targeted practice of going through everything. So in the next 3 weeks, on top of playing randomly online, analyzing the games, downloading the games, I will also just be playing my teacher and we'll be downloading and analyzing games. And he loves playing over the board, like actual pieces. And I always have to beg him, like, please, can we play on the computer so that I can give takebacks, I can add time, and I can, most importantly, I can download the game and have the game always there. So there's a very big mix of technology and old school with me and my teacher, because my teacher is very, very, very old school. Which is, I mean, it's funny that he's very old school, but he knows way more about computers and everything than I do. He's always like, you need to do this, you should do this, but this and this and this. But, and he also hates computers at the same time. Anyway, so writing everything down, being very organized and playing is really just playing and actually knowing the position. Put your money, put Your mouth where the money is? Put your money where the mouth is? I think that's what it is. Put your money where your mouth is and actually know these positions. So I also did post online that I have solved the Nidor from the Catalan, and then we've solved more openings, but I was like, maybe I'll just leave it at those two. Like I don't want people being like, oh, you said you solved the Nidorf, and then you're 0 and 3 against the Nidorf, which one is not going to happen because I solved the Nidorf, but two, you just don't want to put that out there. And then the same thing kind of goes for future openings. Why put it out there that I know it? Because then also my opponents. One good thing that can happen is people are like, oh my God, he knows what to do. I'm not gonna play against it. But I'd much rather people have fallen into it first than just run away from it, I would say. So yeah, kind of a big section on chess training, but there's a lot, and it's a big summer, and I mean it's honestly it's a summer I want to make. Not just I am. I'll just put it at that. I want more than I am this year, and I want to do whatever it takes to get there. And that means working hard, being a try hard, being obsessive, doing all these things, I think is very, very important if I want to do all those. And then definitely not hanging pieces like link click. All right, so that's chess training. I'm gonna go through chess students real quick, and then lastly we have the life section. All right, so I went over my chess training. Now I'm gonna go over my chess students. Um, so overall, it's something actually kind of funny. After a major tournament, after state championship, or after a big tournament where everyone plays, the next week there's a huge like hangover effect, where everyone's like, "Yeah, I kind of did this," or it's just like, "Yeah, kind of whatever." It's just like a whole like kind of meh vibe, and it's especially when people did okay or not good in the tournament. When people did good in the tournament, you have one of two things. You have either I took completely the time off, whatever, or it was just like, no, I worked super hard. Um, sorry, I said that wrong. When people have good tournaments, either they completely do nothing or they go back right to work. Um, and I guess it's the same thing with bad tournaments. Like for me, I didn't have a great tournament. I also had a lot of free time, so I just started immediately working. And I've been waiting to work for a while, so I was like very happy to get back into work. But a lot of my students, I would say in state championship, had like just okay. One of them had actually a very good tournament, and even he's just very critical because he was like, "I had a terrible tournament." I was like, "Bro, you didn't lose any games." But yeah, there has been definitely a hangover effect. Also, another thing is that in May, I don't know why, but there's not really that many tournaments. There's a very weird routage, but also from the end of May on, it's just like machine gun. There's like tournament after tournament after tournament. So right now, it's very, very important for me to lock down on these guys for May and get them to have really good Mays. And one problem is they do have like their AP exams, or like the older they are, the more they have tests and stuff. But then they're gonna have more free time, which can be good or can be bad. So the way I see it is if I let them slack off and be like, oh, it's the summer, whatever, then it's gonna be really bad because that's gonna allow them to do that. But if I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna teach you if you don't do this, you have to do this, otherwise, like you're just wasting my time. And they have the free time to actually study, then boom, they can do. I mean, they could do so much. So I'm probably gonna try to ask a lot of them. The only problem with this is I will have my own things going on this summer, so I'll have to factor this in. But at least for this 4 week stretch, um, basically I'm gonna be really, really on top of these guys. Because I'm also free now too. It's yeah. Here's something that's nice, and I'm gonna talk about the life section again too. But once you're free, you just have more time to be on top of things. Is the best way to put it. When you're being attacked from 4 to 5 different angles, you ain't got time to be on top of different things. And this is probably a really important big thing with parenting. Like everyone wants to be a good parent. Everyone goes into parenting with the best intentions, but then you just get busy, or there's a financial stress, or there's things like this, and then you have to work on the fly. And when you're working on the fly, nothing's perfect. I would say far from perfect. But who am I? I have no kids. Anyway, so yeah, the post tournament hangover. So master spreadsheet. So I have completed their spreadsheet, and as I said earlier, I finished my openings, which means I finished their openings. Now, one thing that I'm doing is I feel like I'm teaching them too fast because I have all these resources. Like they can burn through the material pretty fast too, but I don't actually know if they know it or not. That's what I'm most worried about. Um, because with all the problem sets, that is testing in a sense, but I haven't made any official test. So once again, as the openings develop on my side, the openings will develop more and more. on the student side. So I would probably just wait and see. I mean, one thing that I will say is all my students are getting great positions out of the opening. Opening is not their problem. Unless, and this does happen, there are memory issues. These guys sometimes, or a lot of times, do have issues remembering everything. And it's like you took the test, you did this, and then you're still getting it wrong. Like, I mean, I guess once again, I understand chess is hard. Do I get every opening right? No, of course not. But come on, we can do better than this, right? Um, so definitely I need to figure out some way to help their memorization. But this also does come to another point. Am I giving too much homework? So right now, what I'm asking of my students on a weekly basis is to play 6 games a week, do 30 puzzles, 6 puzzle rush, at least 2 opening set problem sets, about 4 questions each, and then 1 problem set, either either easy or hard. The hard one is 25 questions, and it's a huge variety of middle game, end game, and then attacking. It's a lot of attacking stuff. And the reason that I like the problem set so much is if they do this, one, we can go over it and we can save a lot of time, but it hits everything. So like I know you're gonna have a good lesson if we do the problem sets because we've hit every phase of the game, and then I've also given the opening problem set, so we have literally tangible proof of what we did in class and what it kind of means, you know? So it's a lot of homework, and I am kind of nice if people are like, well, I didn't have time, but I did this, and I didn't do this. Like, all right, I get it. Like, I ask a lot. As long as you're trying and I see you doing stuff, like that's very important. Now, the one thing that will bother me is if you have one specific thing. Like I had a student this past week who he needs to work on the French. His French is really not that good. His Stonewall is great. Everything else is great. And every week for homework, he does everything but the French. And that bothers me because like you need to learn this. Otherwise, you're basically a 10-year-old here and you're a 2-year-old here. Like this is not this is not good. Um, so yeah, definitely there's certain things that I try to focus more. Okay, if you're gonna do anything, please do this. Like some people like their puzzles are terrible. Their games are good. I'm like, if you're gonna do anything, please do puzzles. Like that's what you need to work on. So yes, there is a lot of homework, but I try to at least target certain things. That way, that way we're making progress is the big thing. Now, okay, here's another very good story that happened. And it happened and it was actually this is gonna segue perfectly because I'm gonna get into a lot of metaphors now. So the first one, it happened with a guy, no, a student, and literally at the same time, it was happening with a girl that I'm not gonna say in a relationship with, but I was interested in. Both of them had a lot of potential. Both of them like I thought they were really smart. They had a lot of talent, but then, I mean, to be honest, they were both really lazy. They always wanted to do good. They always wanted to, like, I'm gonna wake up early. I'm gonna do this. The chess guy was like, I'm gonna study. I'll promise. I have spring break. I'm gonna finish everything. Like, trust me, I got you. Every week, and week after week would be like, oh, I don't know, or like something happened, or I couldn't do it. And then like one time I was like, all right, if you do everything, I'll buy you a nice mouse. Like just to, kind of get the ball rolling. I was like, I'll buy you, a mouse for the computer so that you can play faster and stuff. And then that week they did the practice, and then boom, back to work. The next week they didn't do the practice. And this is kind of the same thing that happened like, with this girl too. It's like I liked her a lot. She was very talented. She could do a lot of things. And then I would try to do something similar. It's like, okay, if you do this, like, okay, I'll take you out, or we'll go do this, and like basically, the lesson here is money does not solve an intrinsic or an internal issue. It can it can catalyze and it can motivate, but if you want permanent results, or it'll almost guarantee that the person is gonna go back to the same behavior unless something else changed. Like for me, I'm waking up. I'm not even getting myself right now, but the way that there's a book that I read and it is really about like it's called the lepton theory, and I'm going to talk about it in the next section. But it's like if you want to motivate someone, if you want to get someone to kind of follow your lead or like do something new, like you need to show how it works for other people. Like if you keep telling them like you need to practice, you need to practice, you need to run, you need to work, you need to do this, you need to stop wasting money. Like it's only gonna get them more mad, is pretty much what happens. And yes, it happens again and again. It's proven. I can confirm that it will get them mad and it will not get anything to change. But if you can be like for me, if I just basically always kept saying like, man, I keep practicing and now my puzzles are really good and I keep winning. Or like you see this other guy, Vibu practices every day and he's gaining all this rating. And this guy, I mean, both these people, they would be lazy and they would not do anything, and then they would come to me like, I don't understand. I don't know why this is like this. Like, life is so hard or chess is so hard. Like, why is this like what am I doing wrong? And I'm like, I'm trying to like I've been telling you again and again and again, and you're still here being like, what am I doing wrong? Like, I mean, what am I supposed to do? And this is like, and I think this is what happened initially is like I would just get in this frustrated phase where I'm just like, dude, like, what do you mean you don't know what's going on? Or what do you mean you don't know why you're not gaining rating? You're not practicing, and every single week it's the same thing. Like, where is the confusion? Like, logically, for me, I'm a very logical person. Like, you're telling me that 1 plus 1 equals 4, and like you continue to not understand why 1 plus 1 is not equal to 4, is the way that I look at it, or the way that I'm hearing them talk. And okay, then I basically just say, all right, either you do the work or I'm never talking to you again. And I guess end of the day, if they're not going to change, what am I going to do? And do I feel bad about it? 100%. I definitely feel bad about it because like sometimes you are pretty invested in someone in something, and then to just kind of cut it off is like, it's just kind of sad. But yeah, I think so. Getting frustrated. I mean, basically, what happened with the student and with this girl is that I didn't see anything changing, and I also I think part of it is my fault because I did a bad job motivating. Like, if anything, I actually almost guaranteed that they would not do what I wanted them to do by just being almost and at first I was like, am I being mean? Is it bad to be mean? I'm like, I don't like being mean. Being mean is bad. But that's the wrong way. It's not even like that being mean. I mean, for some people it will work too. Like for me, I can get pretty motivated off of someone like being mean or being like very direct or calling me out and stuff. Like that works with me. But with certain people, and both these people were like, I don't know, very t tough exterior, but super soft interior, like you could tell. Um, and just like it almost feels like they needed a friend, which sounds so bad now looking at. Because okay, initially I was a friend. I was a friend with both these people. Like I was a super friend. Like I would be like, oh, whatever you need, like I helped you. Like I would be like above and beyond. And then slowly it would get more and more like, all right, you need to do this. Like I can't keep spoiling you. I need to you need to do this. And I mean, a couple things is one, don't ever begin the relationship or things off because it just once it gets locked in, it gets harder and harder to get rid of. Like people are people of habit is kind of the way to think about it. And like if you start off on the wrong foot, it's going to be harder to change it later on. So you need to start with not tough love and not too nice love. It's like you can't be a mom and you can't be a dad is the way to think about it. You have to be, I mean, that's basically you have to be God. You have to be fair. That's almost like literally, if I could probably say it or describe it in a way. So you can't be mom, you can't be a dad. You have to be right in the middle. You have to be basically you have to be a father, you have to be God. And it's not easy. Like, so now looking back, let's take with the student, what I should have done is I should have had rules. And I should have been really like, because at some point I do feel like I was being kind of mean about it. I was like, dude, and then I would use a lot of positive reinforcement too. It's like, man, you're so good. You could be GM. Like, you have a lot of potential. You can do all these things. Like, I really believe in you. I believe in your GM. And then you get the small initial uptick, and then you go back to the, all right, back to the lazy, the lazy phase. Um, so what I should have done is one, been really nice about it. Even when you're being mean or when you're scolding, like I think it's really important, especially with people who are like not as receptive to like negative negative behavior or negative feedback, is you be really nice, but then you almost be disciplinary in a nice in an unfortunately nice way. It's like, hey, these are the rules, and like, and once again, I don't even like having rules, but okay, basically these are the rules, or this is like what I think like Like you tell me what you want, because these people always they come to you with like, I want to fix this, I want to be better, and then it can never be you who tells them that this is what they have to do. They have to tell themselves. So it has to kind of come to like, all right, well, we talked about this, this, and this. What do you think, or what do you think you should do? And like you need to hold yourself up to these rules. Um, and then if you don't, like, you tell me what the punishment should be or something. Like, I want to help you, but I don't want to spoil you. Like, basically that's what I'm trying to say. That's what I mean. That's what a lot of people are trying to say. And it's funny because like I know this life is a circle where it goes this way, it goes that way. And it's like people will be doing this to me and I'll be trying to do this to other people. And like until we have to break the cycles and the circles. I can't say this enough. It's so important that these circles and these cycles get broken. Because otherwise we just keep walking around in these labyrinths and we wonder why, but we're still stuck here. And sometimes the door is right there is a way to think about it. It's just you have to understand what's going on. Um, and yeah, it's that not too nice, not too mean kind of thing. So now with this girl, what I should have done is one, been really nice. I did kind of get maybe a little bit mean. But also you can't spoil people. I can't just be paying for everything. Like there has to be rules to everything. So yeah, I think a lot more open and honest conversations. And I mean, this is another thing that's nice about, I guess, just dating and meeting people is like, at some point, hopefully at least, I am a finished product. Like, I know why things happen. I know how to manage my emotions, my behavior, and relegate and know and hopefully help people too. So it does feel like I did learn a lot from this book and just these two examples. And oh my God, if you thought this was good, you just wait till the life section because we got a lot to go over there. It's been a very interesting week, a lot of interesting stuff. Um, but yeah, so let me segue into life. But yeah, being too hard and motivating, it's not easy, and no one teaches you how to do it, which is why I started reading books. Because one, I just like human psychology, and two, like I keep getting these patterns and these circles, and nobody tells you what to do. And there's no expert. Like, okay, I guess I could go talk to like Joe Rogan or some like super guy who's like done all these things, but I don't have those people at my disposal. I can't just talk to a CEO and be like, okay, what do you think the best thing to do here is? Like, I got to figure out myself, and I guess reading books and knowing data and science is one thing that can guarantee that you're making better decisions. So anyway, big section. Let me get into life next. All right, so the life section. Well, let me just go through the last 2 weeks, and then let me go through Thursday as well. So last 2 weeks, going in order. Um, ended up eating a bunch of food. Um, chess box in New York. Doing, I mean, I'm not gonna say terrible, but not as good as I wanted. Definitely worse than I was looking for. Um, because I was in New York City, it was Easter, it was 420. My family's pissed at me. Finished school. I did finish school, but we're gonna say barely. I'm gonna say by the hair of my chinny chin chin, we made it through. Um, I did get a ticket this past week for expired registration. Lost the state championship and then almost died because of a car. Like, talk about a fun stretch of 2 weeks. Basically, that's essentially for me, that's Georgia in a nutshell. If I could summarize Georgia, it's that right there. All you gotta do is add a bottle of whiskey, a girl who loves me, and a girl who hates me, and you got everything that happens in Georgia. Then let me go to Thursday, and let me tell you guys why I'm literally so happy and so excited right now. So Thursday starts by refuting the Najdorf. Then I finish teaching at a school. It's funny. I go from refuting the Najdorf to teaching kids how to castle in the span of 30 minutes. It's like from the greatest chess that you could get to a kid who can't castle for the fifth time. Okay, so finish that. Then on Thursday, I almost die sitting there waiting at a light. Almost got hit by a car. Then I tried to go to the Walmart to get something for my headphones, so my headphones just stopped working. It's not there. Because I went to Walmart, I tried to get a haircut. But the haircut place is closed when I show up there. Then I bet on the NBA because I've almost died. So it's like, all right, well, today's got to be a good day to bet. Like I would think I'd make a lot of money today. Um, I actually ended up making $7, but at some point I had $0. I had spent everything. We had gone from full bank to zero bank to up $7. End of the day, though, that's good. That's actually really good. Um, and actually, the only reason I completely accepted. I'm done. I quit betting. I'm gonna take a break. I'm not doing this anymore. I had to spend time, and even now I'm doing it, but I'm gonna say it's a little different. But my friend was like, "Yo, let me stake you. We're gonna bet on sports." And then I was like, "All right, fine. Let me start the fire." I put in $60. That 60 turned into a 200, and he never staked me. So now I'm basically just betting with. I just have a good bankroll back. I mean, $200 is nothing like crazy, crazy, but from 60 to 200 because I would quit. I had told myself I'm done. Um, so that's been the last 2 weeks, and that's been Thursday. So this is why I'm actually so incredibly happy. So, and I'm gonna go actually in the same order. So, the New York City chess boxing didn't go that great, but June 21st, there's gonna be one in Atlanta, and I know what I have to do. Okay, first things first. I'm okay. I like X3. I like the kickboxing classes. I like the cardio classes where it's like, there's a group of 15 people. We're all hitting the bag. That's cool and all for cardio. But if you're gonna fight, you need to spar. You need to actually get out there. You need to actually do stuff. So kickboxing classes can go have fun. Like if I got a fight coming up, I'm fighting. Like what a it's a hot take, right? But definitely way more sparring, way more offense, and just okay. s- This is something that I think is really important. Sparring with people you trust and incrementally getting better and better. It's funny, like my friend Sasha, he came to the event in New York, and I was begging him all week, bro, please come to Atlanta, not to New York. Come to Atlanta so we can spar together and I can actually like, practice stuff and get some looks. He ends up coming to New York and not to Atlanta, and that was probably kind of the worst possibility of those two because then he just got to watch me be inefficient because of that I couldn't get enough practice in. Anyway, so this is why I'm happy. New York City chess boxing, I got my rematch. Family pissed. Well, they're gonna come here in 3 to 4 days. So I'll have my redemption. Um, it's my dad's birthday. I did graduate, so there should be some kind of happy feelings there. And well, that's that for that. Um, your ticket for expired registration, we're gonna be okay. I'll lose the state championship. Okay, so this is actually why I'm pretty happy about losing the state championship. I'm very happy that it happened at the beginning of the summer. If it had happened at the end of the summer when there was nothing to do, then I would just sit on it and sulk. Well, honestly, here's the real thing. I didn't even plan on playing. I had already relinquished the fact that I was going to give it up, so it didn't mean anything. What hurt was losing rating. And though I did lose a little bit of USCF, I had gained just enough FIDE to be back over 2300. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am a FIDE master. I am a college educated FIDE master right now. What a crazy life that we live in. And I hopefully this lasts less than a month that I can make international master, grandmaster. I once again I didn't pay for I'm not actually FIDE master. I didn't pay for the title. But end of the day, my sentence in Georgia. I finished college. I finished FIDE master. Let's see what else. Almost died because of a car. There's not going to be much you can take away from this other than I actually whatever happens over the summer, at the end of it, I want to not have to drive. I don't want to have to, I want to either go to New York or Colombia or somewhere. I need to spend 6 months to a year somewhere where I can't drive a car or somewhere where there are no cars or not where there are no cars. I mean, cars are still important, but I don't want to have to drive. Dude, I've been driving up and down Atlanta the last 12 years. When I mean up and down Atlanta, I mean south of the airport and I mean north of the suburbs. An hour up and an hour down and living in the middle. This is what I mean by caught in the in between, okay? Don't be caught in the in between. You just end up wasting so much money and time. Like, if I go back, caught in the in between with chess boxing, you're not really sparring. I mean, you are in shape, but you're not really a fighter. You're caught in the in between. You don't actually know what you're doing. You don't actually, like, when I actually listen to fighters talk, and they talk about how there's high level fight IQ, and these guys are striking geniuses. Dude, when I was in the ring when I was fighting, I had no striking thought. Is the best way to think about it. I mean, there's like, okay, yeah, I want to throw a jab. Oh, I think I'm gonna throw a left hook. There's no I'm trying to set something up. There's no like, okay, this is I think the correct timing and stuff. So that I think is definitely something that caught in the in between. If I'm gonna fight, I have to be a real fighter. Family pissed, and this is okay. So one part of the reason my family's pissed is there was a K-pop concert, but I didn't realize that it was 40 minutes away from the chess boxing place. So logistically, this was just not gonna work. And this could have been planned ahead of time. They even had someone else who wanted to go to the concert, and I told them to go, but they didn't go. Like, if I had told them from the start, I think that would have they would have been like, okay, well, this logistic doesn't make sense. So what that means is that the other person has to go. Instead, it was like, well, you could still make it, and she could still make it, and we're gonna try to make it work. And I saw it coming about a day in advance. And nowadays, with getting older, that's a very important and useful part about being older. You just see things coming. And I got caught in the middle. I was trying to hang out with one party, I was trying to hang out with another party, and you got caught in the middle, and you made both parties sad. And then Sunday, I was sulking because of it, and now it's a lose-lose. Um, okay, the ticket. I guess the ticket actually I did get caught in the middle because I kind of knew some stupid thing was gonna happen. Okay, almost died because of a car. That was just God trying to be like, yo, you gotta learn. Um, and then refuting. Okay, chess openings, great. Okay, teaching at schools is gonna be something very, very interesting that I have to figure out. Camps are okay because it's a concentrated week and it can be fun. But teaching at a school, especially when I'm driving in an hour there, an hour and a half back, we have to recalculate. That is caught in the middle. Um, and then I think, okay, another really good thing with betting is now that the NBA regular season is over, I've been learning how to bet just like not a bunch of parlays, like single bet, two parlay bet, three parlay bet, and like and also a live bet. Normally, before I was a live bet nightmare, and probably I just kind of got lucky because everything has been trending over instead of under. But live betting has gone really, really good. Um, and that, in a nutshell, is why I'm so incredibly happy right now. So even though the last 2 weeks have been pretty abysmal, a big thought is it's at least it's over. Like one thing about okay, and then one thing about being stressed, I don't know how I'm going, but one thing about being stressed when you have a million things going on is you have so many things going on that you're going to have a level of decision paralysis where you're like, well, now I just don't want to do anything. Like, look, I've been doing this, this, and this, and I don't even know where to begin. I don't even know what to do. Like, do I? And it just ends up being just too much, is the best way to put it. That in a sense is kind of over. Now I know what I want to do. I can do what I want to do. Like I'm free to do what I want to do. That's a huge reason of why I'm just so happy right now. Freedom, clarity, no more in between, no more having to waste on this and knowing that I can do this. Um, Clarity, freedom, and honestly being straightforward and upfront and not waiting. The longer you wait when you know the answer, the longer you put things off, just the more it's gonna hurt when it finally comes. Like you don't pay that bill, now when you have to pay the bill and a half because it's late, it's not going to be any better. If you don't have that tough conversation, then they go ahead and do something. Now you wish at least you had the conversation because now you're not going to have that chance. So like, there's a lot of things as getting older, and caught in the middle has been a huge one. I don't want to be ever caught in the middle again. Like honestly, and this is probably a good way to wrap up this episode of this podcast is with Georgia. It's felt like every single goodbye has been sad. There hasn't been one good goodbye. There's been a lot of course, there's been a lot of good moments, a lot of great moments, a lot of like some of the best moments of my life. But it seems like every single one, when it ends sadly and poorly. And like, as much as this is not all my fault, I am a common theme at least. Like, so that's something you have to definitely realize with. And if I'm being honest, what I will say will happen is like your heart isn't in it anymore. And it's crazy how like the energy of the other people just picks up so quickly and immediately, your energy. You would think that when you're done fighting that they would still fight more, but it's almost like once like you're done fighting, they can feel that you're done fighting and they're done fighting too. Um, so I really want to really make it a focus over the rest of my honestly just the rest of my life, whether I'm in Georgia or wherever. If there's gonna be a goodbye, it has to be a happy goodbye. I don't like these sad goodbyes. Sad goodbyes suck. They don't go away. Or it's just like it leaves a bitter taste in your mouth of you're like, this is not what it was, you know? This is a terrible chess game, by the way. But yeah, and it's been a huge common theme. So something that I really, really, really I can't stress enough. No more goodbyes. No more sad goodbyes, at least. So okay, so then how do you make a happy goodbye? Because goodbyes are not naturally happy. Goodbyes are not happy things. I think it's one, it's the clarity of knowing that once you know that this is not supposed to happen or this doesn't make sense, um, I think being nice about it, just being like, look, I want this to work. I know it's not, I mean, it's gonna sound like every breakup ever, but I want this to work. I know it's not gonna work, and I think you know it's not gonna work too. Let's be objective here. Because it's so hard to be objective, and this is something I notice with a lot of people. Nobody is objective. Maybe one of my greatest strengths is that at least I have the ability to be somewhat objective. It's way harder for other people to be objective and non-emotional than it is for me. I can definitely at least give myself a fighting chance to not be emotional. Um, maybe biting is the exception. So, anyway, a lot to think, a lot to go over, a lot of things happening, but the best way to put it and the best way to end it is this is where the movie begins. This is the perfect place for a movie to begin. I'll say it now, I'll say it again. This is gonna be a good movie. It's gonna be The King's Gambit. The King's Gambit is gonna be maybe that should be the episode name. The King's Gambit. And it happened live right at the end. Wow. We got the Queen's Gambit, now we got the King's Gambit, the beginning. Alright, guys. See you later. Peace.